Mittens is playing the insane exchange sacrifice with knight takes e4. Huge update, Megan and Mittens are battling right now. This is what chess.com announced yesterday. You might say, who is Mittens? Mittens is the card that is making the internet go crazy. He's beating Hikaru Nakamura, Gotham Chess, and all the strongest grandmaster on the internet. And Megan is the character of another movie. This film went out a few days ago, January the 6th, and Megan is a doll, artificial doll, that is supposed to entertain children, but actually children are disappearing. And the same is happening to the chess.com cat. If you went to chess.com/computer, you might know that chess.com had cats that you could challenge, and there were 5 cats, and now suddenly all the cats disappeared. The only cat remaining is Mittens, and Megan was the one that took care of them. Megan took care of Katsporov. She's coming for Mittens next. Mittens might in a few days disappear, and it will be decided by the result of this match. I found an insane game with an exchange sacrifice. A stalemate possibility is gonna be huge. Let's have a look. Mittens with the white pieces is playing the opening that Hikaru Nakamura is playing in lots of Title Tuesday with b3. And Megan goes already with the bishop out, very aggressive. She wants to take out this bishop and play the move e5, going for the center. Mittens controls that square, and now both players are just developing their pieces, and sooner or later we will see an important move by Megan. Right now, boom! Giving away the bishop for the knight because she wants to go for the center. Megan is aggressive chess player. She goes for the center and giving away also the bishop. And sooner or later she will play another aggressive move. Boom! e4. What is the idea of this move? She wants to go for a king side attack after bishop back, bishop out, castle, castle. You see this bishop pointing at h2. And I can imagine Megan going on with ideas like g6, h5, knight here, queen to h4 and give checkmate. This could be a very strong attack. How is Mittens trying to avoid this? Rook c1, bringing the rook on the c file. And now Megan is just playing a waiting move, a6. This is like computer word. Just a6, waiting and saying, Mittens, what's next? Because it's not so easy to find a move for Mittens. Mittens plays d3, attacking the center immediately. Megan is improving the knight. Now the pawns in the center are exchanged and the queen goes on c2. And now we're getting to a very critical moment. Knight d3, played by Megan. This knight is not hanging after bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes. White is in huge danger. Bishop takes is a discovery check. The king is under attack and this queen is hanging. So Mittens doesn't do this kind of moves. So of course the knight cannot be taken. If the knight cannot be taken, what are we gonna do? The rook is under attack, and if the rook is moving, there are also problems. The knight is taking this important bishop, and after queen take, the sneaky queen to c7. The queen and the bishop are attacking the pawn, and after a move to protect this pawn, h3, there is the strong bishop e5. Now the knight is pinned. After the rook is protecting, the other rook is attacking, and there is no way to protect that knight. Is Mittens going to lose this game? No, because in this position, Mittens is playing the insane exchange sacrifice with knight takes e4. Megan, of course, takes the rook, and after knight takes f6, pawn takes, bishop takes, we get to this position. Mittens has a bishop and a pawn, and Megan has a rook for it. As compensation, Mittens says that Megan's king side is very weak and the king could be in danger. Also, I want to point out that Mittens has the bishop pair, and special notice to this bishop, the light square bishop. This bishop is gonna have lots of fun in the next few moves. Now the rook is attacking the queen, and the queen is going straight towards the king, giving a check. The king is going, and now another insane move. Mittens would like to play bishop d3, queen h5 and give checkmate. But if bishop d3 is happening, the bishop is taking here, king takes, and goodbye light square bishop, goodbye checkmate. So this is definitely not good. Reason why here Mittens is playing the strong g3. Usually they say, do not push the pawns in front of your king. But who cares? This is creating some weaknesses, but these weaknesses cannot be exploited, so they are not actually weak squares. Additionally, the move g3 says goodbye to the idea of black attack on the g file. After rook g1, the queen is just moving on h3, and there is no way to attack on the g file. Rook g7 is prophylactically defending the mate, bishop d3, and now, can we find a good move for Megan? It's not so easy, right? Of course, sacrifices here are not working, because after pawn takes, queen takes, this rook is hanging by our queen, so don't try this at home. Rook c7 is played, and now the threat, the idea is there. That's why Mittens is just moving away the bishop, and in this position, Mittens has so many good moves. Bishop b2 attacking this pawn, rook d1 improving the rook, pinning the bishop, queen h4 attacking one more time this pawn. Instead, Megan has not so many ways to improve the position. That's why here she's just waiting with the bishop, and now the strong queen h5. This move is preparing the move rook d1, taking control over the open file. That's why Megan plays the move rook c6, because she wants to play rook to d6 and counterattack this rook, challenge the rook on the d file. But Mittens has another move prepared, bishop e4, and now you have to choose. Do you play rook c7, protecting the pawn but allowing the strong rook d1, and after queen e7, Mittens could even sacrifice a piece. Bishop b2, just bishop b2. This pawn is under attack, and if queen takes, there is checkmate. Bing, boom, bam. That's why Megan is not allowing Mittens to take control of the d file and keeping the rook on the 6th rank with rook e6. The idea is that rook d1, there is always rook d6. But this has a big cost. The pawn on b7 is falling, meaning that right now there is a bishop and 2 pawns for a rook. Mittens is slowly improving the position, bringing back the bishop, and finally the rook is reaching the open d file. Mittens needs to improve the position just a bit more and needs to find a way to bring this bishop into the action. And this is the moment. This is another critical moment. The queen and the rook are attacking this bishop. If this bishop is moving, there is the strong rook d2 and goodbye f7, goodbye king. Reason why Megan is playing the move f5. But this move comes with a big downside. Bishop b2. Mittens is winning back the rook. And Mittens will be 2 pawns up. So this is not really good. Bishop there. The only chance, the only hope for Megan is that there are opposite color bishops. So maybe an endgame could end up in a draw. Will Mittens avoid the draw? Let's have a look. An insane resource for Megan is incoming. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Queen here, now the queens are exchanged. And now we get to an endgame where Mittens needs to create somehow a pass pawn. Notice that this pawn cannot be protected because after rook here, there is rook f7. And how do you protect this pawn? That's why Megan plays the simple move rook c6, giving the pawn on e4. And now Mittens is slowly improving, pushing the pawns, bringing the king, giving an important check, so cutting the king. And slowly the position is progressing. You see pushing, and now finally g4. This gives already a pass pawn. The king moves away. Now you push the pawn, you bring the king, you're attacking this pawn. Now I think there is a check over here. The bishop is covering. The rook is going back, and this check is very important. Now the king is going to h6, and can you see the checkmate? Bishop here, bishop there, and the rook here, checkmate. This is a huge threat, and actually it's going to happen. I mean, Mittens is bringing the bishop to g6, and now Megan is forced to protect with the rook. Megan is playing without the rook. The rook cannot move anymore. The king cannot move. And so what is Mittens doing? Just creating a pass pawn and pushing baby. And there we go, blocking, boom, pass pawn, taking, and now look at this pawn. Who is gonna stop this pawn? The bishop is trying, the rook is moving, so the bishop is controlling the promotion square and red carpet in front of the pawn. Nobody is able to stop it, and that's why Megan is even sacrificing a bishop there. Mittens doesn't care, pushes the pawn, the rook is moving, and now Mittens takes. And this is the resource that Megan was waiting for. Boom! If king is taking, you stalemate. The king is moving, and again, check. If the king is taking, you stalemate. The problem is that the king needs to be in these squares in order to control the square on g5. Meaning that the king can just run on the other side. If this check would continue, the king could go here, Now, if you sacrifice the rook one more time, the king can just take, and then the king can escape. That's why the stalemate trick is not working. And Megan here is going out with the king, meaning that the pawn is going to promote, and a checkmate is following after a very few moves. There we go. Mittens is still able to beat Megan, but how long will it take to Megan to defeat Mittens? So that we need to say goodbye to this cut that made our days for so long time. Mittens, stay strong and remain between us. Make sure to subscribe and like the video if you like this game. I think it was an insane game. Thank you so much guys for watching, and see you next time.